right then. It's morphin' time! Then. It's morphin' time!
What's up? What's up? What's up, everyone? Hello, hello, hello. How are you all doing out there? Thank you so much for tuning in to another great episode, epic episode of Just My Opinion Reviews. I really, really do appreciate it, guys. This is Movie News Roundup number 111. Before we get started, guys, like always, please let me know how I'm looking. Let me know how I'm sounding. Let me know if I'm crisp. Let me know if I am clear. I would really, 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 really appreciate it. I am starting about 45 minutes earlier than I usually do because we have the Dallas Cowboys are going to be playing tonight at 7:20. It is a division game against the Philadelphia Eagles, and I am trying to tune into that. And so if you're a Cowboys fan, hit one in the chat. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know. Let me know. Hopefully our boys can pull out a win. But hopefully you're having a great day today. Hopefully you had a great weekend as well. Hopefully you got everything done that you needed to get done. You got your grocery shopping done. You got your houses clean. Your clothes are washed. That is the case for me. I'm done washing. Hopefully you got all of your clothes. I just said that, but I got my clothes washed. I got my food cooked. It's all prepped away. If you're going into the office, hopefully you have all of your clothes ironed out for the whole week and laid out on the bed like it is the first day of school tomorrow in the 4th grade. Hopefully you're relaxed. If you have your snacks, if you have your libations, let me know in the chat what you're drinking on, what you're sipping on, all that good stuff. I would really appreciate it. I got my water down here, and I am looking forward to a nice, hearty, healthy meal after I get done with this broadcast today. I see that we have 31 people watching right now. Hopefully we do have 31 thumbs up. If you haven't given me the thumbs up, that's cool, but consider it. I would really, 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 really appreciate it. Also, if you are interested in knowing what we will be discussing today, all of that will be in the description box below with the respective links in case you just want to read along or ahead at your own leisure. But let me go ahead and start shouting out you lovely, lovely people. And again, thank you so much for being here. I said it again. I do appreciate it. LD, yo, B, when you get time, watch Leave the World Behind on Netflix with that scary face. Yes, I do plan on watching it. I know that hit Netflix this past Thursday evening, Friday, and I will be checking it out. I did not have a chance to watch it. I've been busy all weekend. Especially yesterday, but when I think I'm gonna be able to watch that tomorrow, and so it is something that I'm looking forward to. I did want to cover it, but I just didn't have time, and so if LD is recommending it, it's pretty good. I can imagine that it's pretty good, so thank you. But yeah, this is definitely on the radar, and maybe I can give you guys an initial reaction. I know that Elliot over in Movie Files, he did cover this on his channel, and he does have a review. So if you guys want to go check that out, head over to his channel. But thank you so much, LD. I do really appreciate it. We also have Faith, Family, and Fun Reviews. Hi, everyone. Hope you're having a delightful Sunday evening. Yes, I am. Hopefully you are too. And thank you so much for being here. I really, really do appreciate it. And let's get those thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. So I see you, B. Avery, Jammo fam. What's crack-a-lacking? I love it. I love it. I love it. Curl Phrase is in the building. What's going on? Good evening from the Bronx. I love it. Thank you for being here. We got Johnny Washington in the building. Hashtag Free Kane Gang. Already, you know what it is. We got Bot Boy Versus in the building. Hello, Brandon and everyone. Thank you, Bot Boy Versus. I do appreciate it. Love that name. It's always a pleasure when I see Bot Boy Versus pop up. But it's even a bigger pleasure when Mama Avery is in the building. Hey, what's going on, Mom? Love you so much. Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. Not a Britain. I'm sorry that you feel that way about the music, but I love it, and I'm going to continue to play it. And a lot of people like it as well. So you're just going to have to endure, or you can just come into the show after I'm done playing it after a few minutes. And if you're watching on the replay, you know, I do have timestamps. And so you can just kind of skip ahead. But yeah, and we got T-Man in the building. What's going on, T-Man? How you doing? How you doing? We also have Tony Sosa in the building. Go Cowboys. Yes, yes, yes. I love it. I love it. I love it. Trip 082001. What's going on? Thank you for being here. Let's see here. Let's see who else we got in the building. We got Justin in the building. I am doing my part. Thank you so much for doing your part. I really, really do appreciate it. We got Sonny Peach in the building. What's going on, Sonny Peach? Good evening, Brandon. Good evening, everyone. I'm sipping on Earth's fruit juice, water. I love it. And I just enjoyed a delicious meal. What was the meal? Let us know. What was it? Was it some steak and potatoes? It could be anything. But thank you for being here, Sonny Peach. This is a moderator right here, always holding me down. So thank you so much. And we also have Danielle W. in the building. The intro was fire. Thank you, Danielle. I do appreciate it. You know, somebody does appreciate the music, as I am trying to increase the production over here, guys. But we have 6 topics, you know, we're going to be talking about Warner Brothers and them trying to bury films. We also got 2 horror topics. You know, we getting some Twisted Metal. And of course, we're going to cap things off with some Jonathan Majors updates. And the Jonathan Majors, I'm going to touch on a few things. I'm not going to get into it too much. And there's a reason why, and I'm going to talk about that later when we actually get to that part of the show this evening. But again, if you want to know what we're going to be talking about, all of that is in the description box below. But guys, before we get started, Ron Burgundy, I need your help, sir. I need your help.
If I'm going to do this, I'll need my news team at my side.
News team, assemble! News team, assemble!
Ron Burgundy, thank you so much. He's always coming through, like I say, in the clutch. I do appreciate it. I do appreciate it. And to all of my moderators out there, please, please, please. Protect the chat as best as you can. Also, guys, if you want an audio only version of this, let me know. Let me know if you're interested, and I can start uploading those again. But let's go ahead and get started, guys. This is Movie News Roundup show number 111. I'm going to be talking about Jonathan Majors, Anthony Mackie, and everything else that I do have in the description box below with the respective links. Whether you're watching this via live or on the replay, let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comment section what you think about all these topics and your opinion as well. You're not just going to hear my opinion. I want to hear yours as well and engage with you with how you feel about all of what we will be talking about today and into the future.
Finally, a worthy opponent. Our battle will be legendary.
Well, yes. Oh man, Ron Burgundy, it worked. And guys, that means that we have a guest backstage. I am really happy to bring this gentleman on. It's a new guest. I haven't had him on the channel before. I've linked up with him on his channel talking about some power. I think that was a book 4 Force with Tommy. And it's kind of like a two-parter. You know, I've had one of the members on my channel, but now I have the other half. So guys, welcome this gentleman coming to the stage right now for the first time. Show him so much love, show him so much respect. Coming to the stage. My bad. It's Lucas with Big Gold Belt Media. What's going on, my guy? How you doing today, man?
What's going on with you this evening, man?
I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm doing pretty good. We got some spicy topics that we're going to be getting into, and I'm pretty excited about it. Can't wait to hear your opinion as well. And yeah, man, I'm also excited to hit this Cowboys game. I don't know if you're into the NFL or not, or who your team is, man. But you know, we're trying to make it to the Super Bowl, to the playoffs, all that good stuff. So I'm excited. So hopefully we can pop this this evening off with a win.
Oh man, look, my team decided not to play football this year.
Oh, really?
They decided that, you know, I mean, we won enough Super Bowls over the last, 20 years that they decided, you know what, we're gonna take a couple of years off.
Okay.
And then come back next year, hopefully, and get a quarterback.
Okay.
They're trying
who is that? What team is that?
Oh, the Patriots.
Okay.
Patriots. I'm a Patriots fan.
Okay. I got you. I ain't mad at you, man. But welcome to the show, man. I'm really glad that you're here. And so you could have been anywhere in the world, but you decided to kick it with your boy this Sunday evening. So it is greatly appreciated. And thank you.
Oh man, we about to have some fun.
Yes,
I love
sir.
Movies, news, and everything else, man.
Yes, sir. And don't hold back either, man. You know, we may agree on everything. We may agree on some things. We may disagree on everything, and start having some fisticuffs virtually. I'm teasing, and I like that X-Men shirt too, man. I gotta bring you on sometime too when I'm talking superhero comic book stuff. So I'm sure we'll work it out.
Man, it's a company I don't like. That granted, they technically produced this shirt, but I don't like them. So that would be interesting.
I heard that. I was talking to Najir and about I was like, yeah, man, how is he with comic book stuff? He's like, yeah, he's not the biggest Marvel fan right now. And I was like, oh, okay.
Not at all. Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna have to have you on, man. So we could go at it and see what's going on. But
definitely.
Now, before we get started, man, this is Mr. Lucas Moore with Big Gold Belt Media. This is his channel right here. And so that is in the link of the description. I don't know what the hell YouTube is doing. They took away our channel tab. I mean, they just be updating stuff. Don't be telling nobody, no emails, no updates, no notifications. But the information is in the description box of this video. What's that?
I said they don't give any of that up. YouTube tries to keep as much stuff secret as possible.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. But yeah, man, you and Lucas, y'all be doing some big things over here on the channel, man. It's movies, television, reviews, reactions. You also cover wrestling. Y'all be on the red carpet at these VIP parties and at the junkets and the conventions. I'm trying to get like y'all over there, man. So that's what's up.
Hey.
Very hard working.
Oh, definitely. Lots of work. Lots of work.
Already.
Trust me. It's fun though, rewarding, especially when you get to talk to people and get to interact with people. That's the fun part of this.
Yes, sir. Hopefully I can rub elbows and rub shoulders with you guys. The next the next power party from Stars or whatever, because it does seem like a lot of fun. But are you ready to get into these topics, my guy?
Oh man, I'm ready. All
right, let's go ahead and do this. And we are going to talk about, of course, topic number one. I don't know what's going on with Warner Brothers, man. Warner Brothers Discovery. They what's going on with my backgrounds? Hold on 1 second. I am not even man. I thought I had it uploaded. Give me 2 seconds. Here we go. I thought I had one background I didn't have uploaded. It was the first one. But we're talking about Warner Brothers Discovery, man. And I don't know if you've ever checked out Eman, but he talked about this a couple of weeks ago. They're like under investigation right now because their CEO they're making these movies over at their studio, but they're not producing them. They're trying to get tax write-offs, and it's like, I think they're under investigation right now. But have you heard about the Coyote versus Acme movie, the live action hybrid film that cost $70 million? The film is finished, it's done, but they decided to shove it or bury it and not let it breathe any life. They're not going to release it in theaters. They're not going to release it on streaming. But that's weird because it got good tests. It got the good test ratings. I mean, they've tested the film to a number of audiences out there, and it got like raving reviews. So you think that if the film is done and everybody will like it, that they will produce it so they can get some type of revenue back. But apparently that's not the case. But this is topic number one coming from Deadline: Coyote versus Acme. Paramount circling Amazon, still possibly a contender. Let's get into this. Deadline does have the exclusive. Not just Netflix that made a bid for Warner Brothers scrap Coyote versus Acme. Paramount, Apple, and Amazon have seen the movie as well. Of those, Paramount has made a bid, and there is potential theatrical release. The Melrose lot could use it on the 2024 release calendar. That Latin exhibitors would want it too. Meanwhile, Amazon is mulling. I'm told that with no formal bid made, first, it takes longer over there to conduct business to get decisions through proper channels. I also hear that marketing execs are trying to get their heads around this picture. Seriously, there's a lot of action scenes in the movie and historical jokes, and that's easily could be in the trailers. I've seen the movie. Look out for the Porky Pig pantless joke. Now, I just talked about this. It was $70 million to cover this film right here. And one filmmaker recently said, we have a project over at Warner's in development. We're not pursuing active development until the studio is sold. God knows what will happen to projects in development. I'm gonna go on in a second, man. But what reason? Why would they do this? And is this the movie that you would be interested in as well? I would like to see this. A lot of people are kind of describing it as like a Who Framed Roger Rabbit that came out in the late 80s, 90s. And if it's in that tone, that's something that I want to see. So I'm just kind of dumbfounded with this, man. But when you saw this news, man, what first came into your mind?
The first thoughts was, and looking at everything, is that this was supposed to be an HBO Max movie. So initially, that's what it was produced for. It was produced to be on HBO Max. They got rid of it when the whole regime changed place. This is when Batgirl got scrapped. This is when House Party got moved and all this other stuff happened. My thought behind this with Warner Brothers is simple. It's a $70 million movie. If we release this in theaters, add another $30 to $40 million for marketing, this movie's not going to make money. Unfortunately, I know creatives have been talking about this movie. They talk about how great it test scored with people, but no one can name me a Looney Tunes movie that made money outside of the original Space Jam.
I was just about to say that.
So, yeah. So if you're Warner Brothers and you have this movie that you think is good, but a tax write-off, which at the time was, I think, $30 million. So it's a chance for you to gain back $30 million instead of dumping more money into this movie and losing even more money. From a business standpoint, it would only make sense. From dealing with creatives, though, that's where you have this issue. That's where you have this problem, because now they're just looking at Warner Brothers like they're a crappy company. You can't just destroy this movie. It tested great. They tell you all this other stuff, but none of them want to say this movie won't make money. That's the key part here.
That's unfortunate. And you're right. The first Space Jam did make money, as you mentioned, but this is part two right here. Legacy. I didn't really care for this movie. Only made 163 worldwide. It wasn't the best, in my opinion, and a lot of people gave me a hard time about this. Now, I've also heard some speculation. It's like, well, it's the studio's project. They can do whatever the hell they want with it. And the creators, the directors, the writers, everybody involved still got paid, to make it. So like, what the hell are you complaining about? And I kind of do see a point there. I mean, they can do whatever they want with it. I mean, they did pay for it, but I just think that this is bad business, that nobody's going to want to work with the studio anymore. this is, I mean, it's a job for most people. It's a paycheck, but at the same time, you know, making films and television is an art, you know, and when you put your blood, sweat, and tears into something, you want to release it to the public so you can get that reception and people can see your work. I mean, you work hard on it for 6 months up to 2 years. And if you're just gonna shove it, man, I just don't think that's a good idea. And you know, they already have a bad rap because Jason, he's not even with the company anymore. Jason Clark, the genius that, hey, I'm gonna release everything on streaming during the pandemic and not tell nobody. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's one thing you're gonna make the decision, but then not communicate. Of course, that's one of the reasons why Christopher Nolan left and charged them up online, which was hilarious, and then went over to Warner Brothers, and then we got the whole Barbenheimer thing, but that ended up being a success. You know, but yeah, man, they just kind of seem, even though it's like it was a different regime, the brand just still is leaving a bad taste in people's mouth. And you know, especially after you said after Batgirl, them not releasing that with the I forgot the name, the brothers.
From Bad Boys for Life.
Right. I just think this is not a good idea, man. Nobody's gonna want to work with you anymore. And so
I think that's the issue. People need right now, they need Warner Brothers to be the bad guy in this situation. Because you need a bad guy. Because other studios have actually done this. I think it was a report about a month ago. Disney literally did this same thing with a film where they removed it from their release calendar and told the producers of the movie, find somebody else to release it because we're not going to release this movie. This happens because unfortunately we're at a point for cost cutting. So it's art versus money. Which one do you think is going to win out? It's always going to be money.
It's going to be the money.
Jason, who, as you said, made the brilliant idea of putting everything of their slate on streaming, he's also the one who greenlit this movie for $70 million as a Max movie. Like he greenlit like 5 films with budgets that were ridiculous and said, we're just going to throw them on streaming because we want to compete with Netflix. But you're not traditionally formed like Netflix, so you could never do what they do. And instead, now you get a new regime coming in and they're like, man, we got to cut and save around $15 billion. Either we dumping more money into these movies or we got to just cut bait. Now, I think it's a brilliant idea to attempt to sell it. But this sale process started a month ago. And you notice it's only people circling the project. It's everybody want to talk about how great this movie is, but you notice none of them studios are jumping out the window to give Warner Brothers anything that they want for this film. Because Warner Brothers is going to want the minimum, I'm going to say, is the production budget back. Which means if you want this movie, the bid starts at $70 million. If you want to release it in theaters, to me, for them, it's the hassle of it all. That's all they're looking at is like we could have killed this movie and got $30 million and moved on our way. Y'all wanted to come at us like this. So if you think it's such a great project, buy it for what it's worth. I think the moment you talk about it and you talk about the test scores, all you did, what Fat Joe say, yesterday's price is not today's price. You made the price go up. You did this to yourself. So now the creators behind this are going to these other studios and they're having to sell them the idea of dumping a massive amount of money into a film that it's a chance, unfortunately, and I know people don't want to talk about it. When's the last Looney Tune project that got any attention? Space Jam 2?
You're not wrong, man.
Like,
you're not wrong.
But Space Jam 2 had a $200 million budget and made $160-something million. They're not looking at losing money like that again.
Well, I mean, at least it's much cheaper, man. You know, that's my argument right here. I would understand if it was 200 or the same price as Space Jam 2, but you know, $70 million is not, I mean, it ain't cheap, you know, but as far as Hollywood blockbusters, you know, that is on the lower end of cost. But hopefully, and you made another point, you know, they are circling around, and at the end of the article it says Sony and Apple aren't making bids, sources say, and Apple could definitely buy this a million times over. Literally,
Apple just wasted $200 million on Napoleon. They can easily come out and buy this film, and they're like, no, thank you. Like, I think it is because Looney Tunes properties don't have mass appeal. That's it.
It's unfortunate.
If it's not touching on nostalgia with like Tiny Toons, which even on Hulu, that didn't garner big attention after its release. I think people are like, yeah, we're kind of cool on that.
Yeah. We're gonna see, man. Hopefully, we will get to see it. Gigi Dan, I think they are looking at a lawsuit if somebody's contract included back end money after release. Maybe I don't know. I don't know. Probably not, because I think they would have learned their lesson from the first time, because everybody was suing them. Will Smith and from the film that he won the Oscar for.
King Richard.
Yeah. They was getting sued everywhere. Christopher Nolan roasted them in the headlines. It was a mess. So hopefully they won't make the same mistake. But guys, y'all let us know in the comment section below whether you're watching this via live on the replay, what you think about this. If this was a property that you was interested in, would you go pay to go to the theaters to see this, or would you want to sit on your couch and watch it in streaming? Let us know, because we're dying to know, especially myself. And again, there is a link to that in the description box below for you to read at your own leisure. Now, next topic number 2. Mr. Lucas, are you a gamer, or did you used to play video games back in the day? I did myself. But The Legend of Zelda was never one that was on my radar. Now, I like the character of Link. I think he's cool. I guess a little elf that's going around with a sword, a shield, a boomerang, a bow and arrow. It looks badass. I got into the character with Smash Brothers, I think on Nintendo 64, but I never played the game. But I'm a fan of Lord of the Rings, and if we were to get a live action adaptation kind of in that realm, I would be happy, bro. I would be at the theater day one, like, hell yeah, let's get into this, especially since I don't really know the character like that. But we're going to be getting that film, but it's not going to be in the realm of Lord of the Rings, and that's kind of interesting to me. It's going to be something else. But guys, this is topic number 2 coming from Variety. Legend of Zelda movie will not be like Lord of the Rings, says director Wes Ball. I would like to see a live action Miyazaki. And we're going to be talking about that. Of course, this is Legolas on the left from the Lord of the Rings, and that's Link on the right as the titular character. As soon as news hit in November that Nintendo and Sony Pictures were joining forces for a live action movie based on the Legend of Zelda video games, many fans started to predict the studios had the next Lord of the Rings on their hands. Not so fast. Speaking to Entertainment Weekly, the film's director, Wes Ball, said he's long envisioned a Zelda movie not as Rings like epic, but as a live-action Hayao Miyazaki movie. Ball said his vision for the live-action Zelda movie is the awesome fantasy adventure movie that isn't like Lord of the Rings. It's his own thing. I've always said I would love to see a live-action Miyazaki, that wonder and whimsy that will bring things. I would love to see something like that. It's going to be awesome, Ball continued. My whole life has led up to this moment. I grew up on Zelda, and it's the most important property, I think. It's untapped IP, if you will. And that's a good thing. I always want something fresh in Hollywood, and people are always saying Hollywood has ran out of ideas, but I have an opinion on that. So we're very much working hard to do something. We're not just trying to do it because we can. We want to make something really special. Now, this is the director, Wes Ball. This is what the gentleman looks like. If we scroll down and look at his filmography, he was over the I'm finna say the Hunger Games. That's not true. The Maze Runner.
Maze Runner. Yeah.
He did the Maze Runner movies, and I like those. Those were pretty dope. They had some great visuals as well. So that's what he's known for. Ball was known, Maze Runner movies, post-production on Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. We're working on the script, and whether it's the next day and whether it's the next one or not, it's hard to say exactly, he said of the Zelda movie. But certainly the plan is after Apes is done to have a little bit of rest for a moment and then dive into Zelda and hopefully give fans what they're hoping for and also invite new people in. I think Nintendo's desire is to introduce people to this world that's been around for 40 years now. Lucas, passing it to you now. How are you feeling about this? Does it get you excited? Do you not give a crap at all? Or are you somewhere in the middle, sir? How you feeling?
Probably somewhere in the middle. Zelda is a character that I remember as a kid growing up playing Zelda. I absolutely love the game. But the pace of it being whimsical, it scares me a lot.
Okay.
Because the first thing I think of is Dungeons and Dragons. which is a great movie, but it
I
leans
didn't
too
see
much
it.
on the silly side.
Okay.
And I wonder, are they going to try to go that angle closer with it? And that will be the scary part. Like, Link is a legendary character.
Mhm,
Like,
mhm,
if you talk to anyone who knows anything about Nintendo, it's
mhm.
Mario, then it's Link. So for you to come out and say we're going to do a Zelda film, I definitely did not want it to ever look or feel like Lords of the Rings, because to me that's too
Really?
epic for Zelda.
Okay.
To me, and I think it would take away the childlike innocence of this type of project that it should maintain and hold. But I'm just worrying about, in all honesty, the director scares me, because
Wow.
I love the Maze Runner films, but
Oh,
none of them were whimsical or like
okay.
they didn't have those elements in it that he's saying he wants a Zelda movie to have. So if that's the case and this is what you want, I think this is kind of scary, because
Okay.
maybe you're not going to be able to pull this off, and the anticipation is going to be so high for this film,
Yeah. Yeah.
extremely high.
Yeah.
And again, for me, the fear is just, I don't know if he's the right director, but I'm not saying he couldn't be, and I'm not saying he couldn't nail the project. But you coming off of Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes again, that's another extremely serious film, and then you want to jump into something childlike like Zelda. That's, man, like, I think of Zelda in the same frame as I would think of the live action One Piece.
I
That
didn't
was
even
the
get a chance to
whimsical.
see it
That was
yet.
the
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh man, yeah, that's
Yeah, I
the
gotta get on it
element
sooner
that
or later.
Zelda should maintain. That's a great type of project that Zelda should look like. But his past projects does not ring that at all. And he can have all the great intentions of the world and still not be able to nail it the way he wants to.
Okay, well, let me ask you this: if West Ball is not a good choice for you, or you're not your first choice, do you have
Mhm.
anybody in your back pocket right now that you would like? Man, not West Ball, but this person would be perfect. They will knock
Oh
it out
man,
the park.
yes.
Who is that?
David Yates.
I know
David
the
Yates is the
name sounds
director.
familiar, boy. What did he
He
do?
is the director of majority of the Harry Potter franchise and
Okay, okay,
Fantastic Beasts franchise.
okay,
He would be the absolute perfect director for a
okay.
Zelda project,
I got you.
because
I
he
can dig
knows
it.
those elements. He knows how to lean darker. He knows how to still have that childlike innocence in the film, no matter how dark it gets. That's a skill set that we don't talk about a lot with directors, is to
Mhm.
be able to balance that life out. Because if you don't balance it properly, you're going to get a film that's going to either feel too silly or way too dark for the audience. So you need
Okay.
someone who can balance it perfectly and give and do justice to a character like Link. Especially, again, it's 40 years of history here.
Yeah.
You know the
Yeah.
pressure that's going to be behind this film? You know the budget that's going to be behind this film?
Yeah.
This is going to be a huge IP. You're launching an IP based off of possibly the second biggest, most noticeable video game ever.
So this
That's
would be
hard.
like a 200 million plus budget, not a 50, 60
Oh,
million dollar.
easily. Yeah,
Okay.
no,
Okay.
they're gonna, in live action Zelda, the budget starts to me at 230.
Oh wow,
Like,
that's a lot of
that's where
bread.
it's gonna start for a Zelda film.
Okay. I
It's
and
not
I'm not
cheap.
mad at that either, because I'm one that's always like, okay, y'all are spending too much damn money on this. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And I just have an example. Like, have you seen Godzilla verse one? I
Oh
mean,
man,
Godzilla
yes.
minus one. I think that was what
Yes.
$15 million budget. You know, and
Well,
go
it's
ahead, go ahead.
controversy behind that budget though. The
Okay,
director, I think he was asked about it, and he said, "Man, I wish it was $15 million." But people don't know if he's saying like, "I wish it was that much," or "I wish it was that little." But
okay,
either way, I think a Godzilla film, especially the original Japanese produced Godzilla films, are normally always cheap. Shin Godzilla costs, I
right,
would
right,
say, like $10 million to make. Those
right,
films are cheap. But
right.
when you are looking at a Zelda film, the scale of Zelda starts at Lord of the Rings
Okay, okay.
or World of Warcraft. If you saw that movie years ago when it came out, and you saw the huge scale
Yeah,
the film
I
had,
did. Yeah.
like, it's gonna take a grand budget to produce a live action Zelda film. I would almost
Okay.
prefer a live action Zelda series than a film. But if you're gonna
I
give it
got
a film, it's gonna be a huge budget for it.
I'm kind of like Halo. Would that be
Yes.
okay, I
Yeah, in
got
that
you.
scale, because
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Halo's a big grand scale type of show.
Right. Right, 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 right. Also, what comes to mind just as cheaper budgets that look good, and not that much effects is District 9. You know,
Yes.
the Neil Blomkamp
Mhm.
came, you know, that was extremely cheap from Hollywood standards, but that looked amazing. So yeah, we're gonna have to see though, man. This is something I'm looking forward to. I don't know anything about the character. Like I said, I just know him from, I mean, I've heard of him all my life, but I
Yeah.
don't know the story. I don't know any of the characters' names other than Link. It's just Mario Smash, like Super Smash Brothers is
Smash
all I'm
Brothers,
familiar
yeah.
with. But continuing on in the article, he says this is a Mayo Moto. That's not what he said. What did he say? It's going to be like a Miyazaki a live action. I've never have you ever seen this before? The Hayao Miyazaki movie or anything about that? I know nothing about this at all, so
Really?
I can't really
The
reference
Boy in the
it.
Harem that's out right now?
Yeah, yeah.
That's Miyazaki's latest movie. Yes.
Okay. How have
His
you seen?
movies are it's great. It's
Okay,
absolutely.
okay.
I'm not a fan of anime in general. But that
Oh,
film
really?
is great.
Oh my
Most of his
God.
films are that way. Yeah.
So you
Most of
haven't
the films are
seen
absolutely great.
so you haven't seen like Ninja Scroll or Fist of the North Star or nothing like that?
No.
Oh man, okay. I mean, it ain't for everybody, but yeah, that's
Summertime Rendering is the only one I saw.
okay,
And
okay,
Spy Family. I think that's the name of it.
okay,
I think it's
okay.
Spy Family. Yeah. Those are the only two. And I was forced to watch both of those against my will.
I'm gonna read this last quote. This is Miyamoto. I have been working on a live action film of The Legend of Zelda for many years now with Avi Watson, who also produced many mega hit films. He wrote, I have
Mhm.
asked Avi-san to produce this film with me, and we have now officially started the development of the film with Nintendo itself heavily involved in the production. It will take time until its completion, but I hope you look forward to seeing it. And one more quote. Oh, my mouse. That would be cool. Shaffer told Variety about playing Zelda in a live action film. I love the game personally. I played it as a kid and I still play it now. Who knows? That would be pretty cool. Yes, it would be. And also, you know, the Mario film that came out, was it earlier this year or last year? That made a hell of a lot of money.
Yeah.
You know, and so
$1.2 billion.
yeah, they're trying to follow suit right there. So
Mhm.
I'm looking forward to this. You know, you've changed my perspective a little bit, especially with you not being excited about West Ball, but I'm not mad at you for that at all. You wanted the Harry Potter guy to do it.
Oh, yeah.
I seen all of those movies. I don't have anything negative to say about them other than they're just not for me. I just couldn't attach myself to them. Magic
Mhm.
is cool to me, but I couldn't get into it the way everybody else, you know, did. And that's kind of a bummer, you know, but you know, different strokes for different folks. So
There you go.
um
Yep.
yeah, guys, y'all let us know what y'all think about this. A live action Legend of the Zelda movie. Are you interested? Are you not? Are you in the middle? Does it pique your interest at all? Do you think it will have the same success of the latest Mario movie? Peaches, 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 peaches. Let us know down in the comment section below, because we are dying to know. And again, there's a link to that in the description box for you to read at your own leisure. Shouting out a few people in the chat that have shown up. What's up, Wayne Turner? One Journey. We also have Chill Spot. What's good? What's good? First super chat of the day coming from Rabia. Thank you so much.
What a money reside, what a money reside, what a money reside, what a money reside. Okay,
$5 yesterday, my 65th birthday. Keep doing the good
Man.
work, young brother. Thank you so much. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Rabia. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. And hopefully you had a great birthday yesterday. And thank you so much for the super chat and showing up. You always have wonderful, nice things to say. And I really, really do appreciate it. Sony Peach says, happy birthday as well. We got the other half of Big Gold Belt Media in the building. What's up, my guy? How you doing? How you doing? I think you left a super chat too. Yeah, here you go, right here. The real link up the world needs. I love it. I love it. What's going on, man? Thank you so much for the super chat. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. But let's go ahead and move on to topic number 3. And I was gonna skip this topic, or actually the next two. if you didn't show up today, and it was fine either way. Because I'm just not a horror guy. You know, I'm just not. I mean, there are some films, some horror movies that I can do. Some I can't. Like I can do slashers. That's not a big deal for me. And I am able to watch the I'm finna say Chronicle, not Chronicle, but the starts with a C. The Covenants, the Chronicle. No,
the Conjurings.
Yes, Conjuring movies, the series.
Yeah.
I'm able to do those. I was able to sit. I was scared. You know, there was a few times I was in here like this right here. You're like, oh God. But the last one, the only one I haven't seen, because I think they got 3 Conjuring films. They have 3 Annabelle films. The Curse of La Llorona, and 2 Nun movies. And I seen Nun Part 1, but I haven't seen Nun Part 2. I don't know. I just got scared and I couldn't do it or whatever. I'm not gonna watch Hereditary. I'm not gonna do that. Everybody's
that's a deep horror movie there. Ooh. It's not really scary, but it freaks you out. It takes you to a different level of freak out.
I'm good. I need millions of dollars to see that right there. You know, it's just some stuff I can do. Slashes are easy. I can do Scream and Thanksgiving and stuff, but that's nothing. You know, I don't really consider those scary. But we got this third topic right here from the Hollywood Reporter, and I'm curious if this piques your interest or not. This is Gary Dauberman has signed a first look deal. This is topic number 3. Horror filmmaker Gary Dauberman signs first look deal with Screen Gems, Sony Pictures. The Hollywood Reporter has the exclusive. The triple threat behind It, and I did see It, both of them as well. Annabelle and The Nun will make chillers and thrillers for the studios. Screen Gems and Sony Pictures are betting big on horror and placing their chips on one of the genre's big names. Divisions have signed Gary Dauberman, the multi-hyphenate who has been involved in some of the biggest horror franchises over the past decade, including It, Annabelle, and The Nun. They got the first look deal. The movie comes as Sony seeks to rebuild Screen Gems. Did Screen Gems do Freddy Krueger?
New Line Cinema is Freddy Krueger.
Okay. Its division focused on lower budgeted fare into a more productive label. With horror being a top focus, the refurbished comes under Ashley Brooks, who took on the role of president in September after the retirement of Steve Burch. Dauberman, who has worn hats of writer, director, and producer for his wide-ranging projects, will bring his millinery to the Culver City lot, creating projects for himself while curating a slate featuring an established up-and-coming filmmakers. Involved in some of the biggest horror franchises in the last 10 years, Gary has an extraordinary ability to create and build out terrifying worlds and create a visceral experience through thoughtfully crafted story and characters, said Brooks in a statement. He's a force in the horror genre space, and we are thrilled to be partnering with him at Screen Gems as he continues to come up with new creative ways of entertaining and scaring audiences. Now, this is what the gentleman looks like right here. He looks like he can direct a scary movie. I'm just going to be besides The Nun, let's just kind of see what else. Oh, there's Gargoyles.
Yes, he is the developer of the Gargoyles TV show that's about to come out.
Nice. Yes. That gets me excited. But The Nun 2, The Dark Side, It Chapter 2, Swamp Thing. Yeah, that's all he's done is horror stuff. And so Lucas, again, horror is not my thing. So I have no passions for this forever. Does this get you excited? Does it tickle your fancy? Are you like, yes, this is the greatest thing ever? Or are you like, there's some BS. I don't like it. They need to get somebody else.
This is great because for people who love horror films, Screen Gems is one of the classic, like 80s to 90s horror film labels. It was like Sony's foray into big time horror films. So for them to say we want to reboot what Screen Gems is, and you bring in someone like him to do so, that's an amazing pull. Because this is another issue possibly with Warner Brothers. This was a Warner Brothers guy. He was locked in a Warner Brothers completely. So I don't know what they did to pull him away from Warner Brothers, but I do think he is one of the better horror film writers currently going. Directing, Salem's not a lot. If like that, I think that's the only film he actually directed was Salem's Lot. And I think that's on hold currently because it doesn't have a release date because it got caught up in the actor strike and everything else. So, but he's a huge horror film writer. So he's someone who you would bring in to say, hey, we got this project, let's get it developed and let's produce it. And if they let him play the same role that James Wan plays for Warner Brothers for their horror film division, I think this can be an amazing move because again, horror is the #1 genre per box office per capita in Hollywood. They are cheaply made, and it is almost impossible for a horror film not to make a profit.
This is true.
So,
this is very true.
like this is something that you need to do. You need to branch out and get these people in and bring them in to develop these type of films and series for you. Plus, as you see from his television credits, currently working with Disney, Swamp Thing to me, which is possibly one of the best comic book shows ever created. Like he can also do television for you. That's what you want. You want someone who can branch out and bring you more than just the horror films. Because if he could give television, especially with Sony, who Sony is the seller in the whole marketplace of streaming, everyone buys from Sony. So you bring him under your umbrella with Screen Gems and say, hey, we don't have to produce films just for theaters. Let's produce films for streaming, a la what Blumhouse does for Amazon right now. Like if you do this and you create this content, this can be a huge move. And I'm all for the behind the scenes people in horror getting this type of look and getting this type of attention. Because he's done huge movies. Like how many people remembered like in 2 films of It, I think combined box office total is like 1.2, 1.3 billion out of 2 films for It. Like the Conjuring franchise is extremely successful. And then you get one of the guys, one of the people who helped shape this universe, and you bring him under your studio. I think again, this is Tom Rothman at his best. That's the head of Sony Pictures. This is him at his best, of him understanding you bring creatives to your studio, and then you let those creatives create magic for you. Don't try to do it on your own. Don't try to be the be all end all of everything. Just understand if you get people that know what they're doing and you put them in the place to do it, and you can relaunch a classic label like Screen Gems. This had me extremely hyped the moment they said they were relaunching Screen Gems, because I'm like, dude, this is for horror movie people. This is huge. Screen Gems was Blumhouse before Blumhouse.
You're gonna make me a fan of horror now, bro. Like real talk. You know, he says, I am thrilled to be a part of the exciting chapter of horror at Sony Pictures and Screen Gems, said Doberman in the statement. I'm truly inspired by Ashley's energy, instincts, and vision for the genre space, and I thank Josh and Sanford for their trust and support and their commitment to horror fans. Before we move on, I got a couple of questions. Did you like The Conjuring 3? I did. A lot of people didn't.
It's not as good as the first 2, but it's still a good movie.
Okay,
it's a really good movie. Just not as good as the first 2 are classic horror films.
This is true, especially the first one. This just came to mind. Did you see that movie It Follows? I did check that out.
That is my favorite modern day horror film.
Yeah.
It is absolutely phenomenal.
The second half wasn't as good as the first half to me, because I felt that they broke some of the rules that they set early on. It was a scene at the beach, and I was like, wait a minute, if this happens
with the little thing.
I was like, you just okay, but bro, it still freaked me out. If you haven't seen It Follows, guys, it's about an STD, a sexually transmitted demon, and it creeped the hell out of me, man. I saw it.
And part 2 comes out next year.
Oh,
yes, part 2. Part 2 of It Follows comes out next year.
And I'm thinking about the way it ended, man. So the first time I saw it, a woman I was dating at the time, we were scared as hell on the couch, like just holding each other, like, oh, there it is. You know, but that's what it's supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, man,
that's the beauty of horror.
Yeah.
In all honesty, horror brings people together more than any other genre of film, because universal for everyone is fear. That's the universal kick for everyone is fear. So when you get people in a theater and your fear syncs with someone else's fear that you don't know, it becomes like an intimate relationship you're having while this film is playing. Like it's an amazing thing to me. That's why I absolutely love horror. Only movie I'm scared of is Candyman. and I watch it once a year during the day. Got to be during the day. All my lights have to be on, and I watch it. But other than that, it's
did you see the latest one with our girl that did the Marvels? No, was it DaCosta?
Yeah,
did you see that one?
Yeah, I saw woke Candyman. That's what we call it. That's called woke Candyman.
I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you, but yeah, man. I want to talk about It Follows, but check it out. I don't want to spoil anything for you. It's best you kind of go in that blind, other than the description I just gave. But y'all let us know what y'all think about this, man. Lucas is excited. He's getting me excited, and I'm not even a horror guy. Are you excited as well? Also, leave in the chat, leave in the comment section, what's the best horror movie that you've seen in the past 5 years? I would say It Follows, but that came out about 10 years ago, so I got to think about that. But
It Follows. Yeah,
let us know in that comment section below. But staying on horror, Lucas, this has been out for a minute too. I don't even know if you can consider this horror. I haven't seen any of them, but they kind of come off goofy to me. And so you're gonna, be in the driver's seat with this one as well for the most part. This is from CBR for topic number 4. Bruce Campbell has exciting news for Evil Dead's future. Bruce Campbell shares an exciting update on the future of the Evil Dead franchise. The Evil Dead franchise is showing no signs of slowing down. As franchise star Bruce Campbell says, the future is bright for the popular movie series. While Campbell led the way, I'm trying to make that bigger, with the Evil Dead as a star of 3 films and a TV series, the past 2 movies have seen his Ash Williams character taking a backseat by following all new protagonists. Even with Ash, the films have been warmly received by Evil Dead fans, and this year's Evil Dead Rise even set the new record as the highest grossing installment of the series. As Campbell explained in a new interview with Collider, this will lead to many more Evil Dead movies in the coming years, and he teased that there may be much shorter wait time in between them. Before I read the quote, Lucas, Sam Raimi is responsible for these, correct?
Yes, he is. The first 1, 2. Well, Evil Dead 1, Evil Dead 2, and then Army of Darkness, which is technically an Evil Dead film, but more of a spinoff. Those are the Sam Raimi versions of it, but he created the Evil Dead stuff. So the later 2, I don't think he really had much to do with, but he was possibly a producer on those projects.
Okay. And also, this is in the same vein as the Evil Dead Rise that came out earlier this year as well.
Yes,
is that link? Okay. And I know that's why they had Bruce Campbell as a cameo in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness a couple of years ago as well, because him and Sam. Okay, I just want to make sure. But yeah, let me get into this quote right here. We're going to do them probably more like every 2 or 3 years now, rather than every 10 years, Campbell says, still showing some concern about not making too many movies. But hey, we've seen with Star Wars, you don't have to wear people out. Keep them guessing. We never wore out our welcome with the Evil Dead because we never choke them. That's funny. How you feeling about this, man? Are you as excited about the Screen Gems news, or are you like Evil Dead? They kind of, they need to let this franchise die. Where you at on this?
I'm excited for more Evil Dead films. Evil Dead Rise is one of my favorite films that came out this year.
Wow.
And it really brought back the original feel of the Evil Dead films. So I'm excited for that portion of it. I was not excited to hear Bruce talk about it because I don't want to see Ash in anything else at this point.
That's the name of
that character needs to be retired. Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Character needs to be retired. After the television show, I think I got enough of that character. But for just what Evil Dead represents and the Necromancer, which is technically the book that creates it, and that's why it's called Evil Dead, like those stories are great, and those can continue to be great. After Evil Dead Rise, I couldn't wait for them to even announce that they were doing a sequel to this. And again, this is another film. It's weird that everything goes back to Warner Brothers. Evil Dead Rise was another film that was produced just to be an HBO Max film. This is also another film that when they took over, when the new regime came in, they said, hey, we're going to put this in theaters because there's no need for us to spend the amount of money we did to produce this film and only put it on HBO Max. Everyone needs to see that. This is one of the smartest moves they made. was putting this out for everyone to see. I don't think it's anyone who loves the Evil Dead franchise who didn't love Evil Dead Rise, and who's not looking at it as a rebound from the 2013. I think that was the last one, was 2013 Evil Dead film, which kind of split a lot of people of saying like it just felt like a cheaper remake of what you had before, where Evil Dead Rise really advanced the story for a new generation. So yes, if they are producing these every 2 to 3 years, that's great. Because that's all you need. You don't need an Evil Dead film every year. That would drive me crazy. But every 2 or 3 years, you get an Evil Dead film. Like Evil Dead can be what The Conjuring currently is for Warner Brothers. This is something that you can really build upon and make a great series out of it. I know you're not going to watch it because this is a little creepy at times. So but it's so many stories that can be told from the perspective of the characters in Evil Dead because of the Necromancer and what that book means for the series. You can branch this out for years to come and never get stale in the storyline. So yeah, I am interested on what they're going to do moving forward with Evil Dead.
So branch it out. Just leave Ash alone. Leave him out of it. He can.
Man. Like Ash versus Evil Dead, that show, I'm good at this point. Like it, and it's because Bruce Campbell is Bruce Campbell, no matter what he plays in. I'm sorry, like he's the same person in everything he does. So, and I love Army of Darkness. I love him in the original Evil Dead films, but it's getting to the point where it's like, okay, how many films do you want to keep on seeing Luke Skywalker in before you say, if you just give me someone else, I would care even more about the series. That's where Evil Dead is right now. So I think his Star Wars comparison was right on the money, and Ash needs to go on just like Luke did.
Okay. Yeah, man. I saw the trailer for Evil Dead. Earlier this year. I was like, hell to the no. There was no way in the world. I was like, hell no, to the no. Yeah, that was me right there.
Hey, look, it is hard being a horror film lover to find people to watch horror films with you.
Okay.
Like I had people be like, yeah, nah, you on your own, man. I'm not saying that.
I got you. I understand. Are you married? You single? What's your
no, we're not gonna say not married, but if I say single, I think someone will be mad at me.
Okay.
So we're just gonna say dating with a purpose. That's
dating with a purpose. I was going to try to give you alley-oop, like, hey, we got some people in the chat that is like, want to get in the horror with Lucas. Hit them up in the DMs.
Hey, I said dating with a purpose. That don't mean we can't move on to other people now. I have no issue with that. Especially a young woman who loves horror films. That takes my heart. That's all you gotta do. Love horror movies and kind of watch football with me from time to time. I'm not a difficult man.
Hey, that's what's up. That's good to know. That's good to know. But yeah, man, Evil Dead, it's Rise is streaming on Prime Video and Max. So if that's your cup of tea, go ahead and check that out. And again, guys, if you're watching this via live or on the replay, there's a link to this in the description box below for you to read at your own leisure. All right, guys, we got 2 topics left before we head out of here. These are one of the biggest topics. One is kind of funny. I don't have no idea how you feel about this. I know how your other half feels about this because we talked about it once. And what the hell is going on with my backgrounds that are not loading up properly? Hold on, give me a second. I did not see this when it hit Peacock. I just didn't care. It did not pique my interest at all. But it sucks because I played the game on PlayStation back in the day, and I really enjoyed it. But when I saw the trailers, it just looked goofy. It looked silly. And everybody I talked to, told me it was a piece of trash, including Najir. Shout out in the chat or whatever. But 5th topic of the day, coming from the Hollywood Reporter, Twisted Metal renewed for season 2 at Peacock. Are you excited, Lucas? We are going to find out. Y'all let us know in the chat as well if you will be getting a subscription for this. Anthony Mackie stars in the action comedy based on the PlayStation video game. Peacock will continue to drive the lawless roads of post-apocalyptic America. The NBC Universal-owned streamer has ordered a 2nd season of Twisted Metal. It's an action comedy series based on the PlayStation game. Star and executive producer Anthony Mackie announced the renewal at Thursday night's Gamer Awards. I have to give Sweet Tooth a size thank you to our incredible fans. I read every comment and I was so blown away by everyone's love, support, and rabid enthusiasm for a paper bag. Showrunner Michael Jonathan Smith said in a statement, "We are beyond thankful we get to continue the story of John Doe, Quiet, and Sweet Tooth as they face off against familiar faces and the new ground foes in the long-awaited Twisted Metal tournament. The mixtape is made, and I'm thrilled to get back on the road with our stellar cast and crew." Twisted Metal has been around for 20 years after a disaster has divided the U.S. into a handful of cities run under martial law and anarchic outside lands. Mackie plays John Doe, a driver hired to pick up and deliver a package to New San Francisco. Mayhem ensues over the course of his trip. The premise sounds dope as hell. And like I said, I played the video game tough. It was badass. But Lucas, how you feeling about this? First, did you play the game back in the day on PlayStation? Did you see season 1 and of this? And if you did you like it? And how you feeling about this renewal of season 2?
I played the video games. I wasn't overly a big fan of them, but they were cool. Nice, cool escapism type games.
Yeah.
I watched season 1 of this, and I prayed to God that he would destroy this series and erase it from my memory after I watched it. The point that they are making a season 2 of this is absolutely ridiculous. I don't know how. I don't know who. I don't know what backdoor deal was cut for this show to get a season 2. But clearly, Anthony Mackie must have promised NBC and Peacock something else if they gave him a season 2. I don't know if maybe he showed them a screener of the Captain America 4 film and said, "I'll show it to you if you give me a season 2 of this show." This show was horrible.
Man.
It's so bad.
Man.
Because it's so silly.
Yeah.
Like, and again, Twisted Metal is a silly video game. But this wasn't silly fun. This was just silly, like dreadful, that you had to sit through this show. I am confused. I thought, and I told everyone after this ended, I said, "Oh yeah, there's no way they're gonna do a season 2 to this. Good riddance. This show's gonna end, and it should end." And here he go announcing a season 2.
Yeah,
and,
man. Yeah.
Get a show on Peacock. If you are looking to produce self-made independent content, contact NBC and Peacock, because clearly they'll give you a show.
Yeah.
They don't care at this point.
Man.
Yeah, it's not worth watching. It's overly silly. Silly.
You know, is it like the Tubi shows, and is it you know, is it in that realm? I'm teasing. I'm exaggerating.
Oh man, you know what? Some Tubi movies are better than this show.
Oh my God. The clips that I see on Instagram, I have to say that is impossible, man, because they be reaching. But if Tubi is better than this, that is a true testament on how bad this is, man. But we don't got to spend too much time on that.
Hated Neve Campbell, and so that says a lot. I love Neve Campbell. I hated her in this show.
Man. Okay, well, Anthony Mackie, I'm a fan, man. I'm a fan of Anthony Mackie. You know, we 100% kind of joke about Anthony Mackie a lot over here on my channel. I got nothing but love for him, but you know, other people I work with, you know, we always kind of tease each other. You know, I'm looking forward to Captain America 4, man, New World Order or Brave New World. You know, are you looking forward to it?
She hate me. Like that's Anthony.
You don't like it? You don't like it?
No, that's one of my favorite Spike Lee movies. Is She Hate Me? Like from that movie, I absolutely. That's the only positive story here is that Anthony Mackie is to continue doing work. That's it.
Yeah,
it was not for that. If it was anyone else in his role, not at all. But the point that Anthony could still have a job, I'm all for it. I'm all for that.
You know, and with them renewing this, I was like, well, maybe it's good or something. You know, I don't think it's a subjective. Maybe I need to give season 1 a try, but you know, you're not giving me that much motivation or enthusiasm. So, you know, if it's on the list, it's at the bottom of the list. You know, so there's other things I'm gonna prioritize more. But y'all, let us know, man. Are you excited for a Twisted Metal season 2 on Peacock? Did you see the first season? You know, I'm pretty sure everybody went in with low expectations, but if you did and you came out liking the show, like, you know what, it wasn't that bad. You know, I thought it was going to suck ass, but I actually chuckled a few times, and it was a good action scene here or there. Whatever, however you feel, let us know. But hey, Anthony Mackie, still my boy, man. I still support you, and you know, hopefully I can meet you on the red carpet one day and get an autograph or something like that. But again, y'all let us know in the comment section below what you think. And there's also a link to that article in the description box below for you to read at your own leisure. Well, all right, Mr. Lucas, let's get to one of the most controversial topics hitting the news streets today. I am disappointed on a number of reasons that we're going to get into. Now, we know that Jonathan Majors is in trial right now for the alleged abuse that he had with his ex-girlfriend Jabari in March of 2023. This has been a trending topic for the duration of this year. There has been so much back and forth. Sometimes he looks innocent, sometimes he looks guilty. There's racism here and there and everywhere. The man has lost deals and this and that. And of course, I don't want to repeat everything. That there's a hell of a lot. But November 29th is when the official trial date started. And there have been a number of people that have been covering this, having their ear to the ground. One of those is a Miss Danny Does Law and Policy. This is her Facebook page. She has actually been in the room. This is her Twitter account as well. And so a lot of people are getting information from her, and not just her, but a number of people. And so I'm going to have a link to all that in the description box below. I will say this. I am a fan of Jonathan Majors. I want him to be innocent. I do. It broke my heart when this news came out. However, I have to say that I'm not coming to any conclusions. If it turns out that after the trial is over with and all of the evidence is presented and that we can universally honestly say that it was a fair and honest and just trial, if it comes out that Jonathan Majors is guilty, he's guilty. And I will admit it. And, I'm not going to support him or anybody else that, abuses women, which is alleged right now. But the main thing is that, we can't come to any conclusions. And when I said I was disappointed earlier, is because a lot of people are coming to conclusions. It's just like, wait a minute, let's just hold your horses, just hold your horses. And so earlier in this broadcast, I said that I'm not going to dive into this topic that much tonight. And that's just because the person that I brought up, Danny Does Law, she will be going live tonight on Instagram in a few hours. And she says here with me on IG Live, this was yesterday, visit me on IG Live tomorrow evening for the truth behind what really is going on in the courtroom. I will be recapping what happened this week during my time in the gallery, as I came to show unwavering support for Majors and his family, in addition to providing a non-media perspective of what's actually happened. No slants, no spin, no lies. I have been witnessing far too much sensationalization and not enough truth and context on this matter. So it's time to get out my comfort zone and on this platform. Now, even myself, you see my name right there. I reached out to her. I said, hey, thank you for the coverage. Do you know exactly what time you will be going live on IG? Much appreciated. She says, I'm going live tonight in a few hours. Maybe she changed the comment because I could have swore she said 9 p.m. But I don't know exactly where the comment went. But, I'm not in the courtroom. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. So I'm not going to come to any conclusions here. I got people in my personal life tagging me in posts like, oh, your boy Jonathan is cooked. He going to have to own it. And I'm like, whoa. Let's wait. So because I really want to see what she's going to say on her live. And after the Cowboy game, I'm going to check out what she has to say. But again, I'm on the camp here like, look, we don't know. I hope he's innocent. But if he's guilty, then he's going to have to face justice. But on a lighter note, it came out early in the week that Jonathan Majors, wanted his ex-girlfriend to act like Michelle Obama and Scott King. And when they hit the social media, everybody's like, "What the hell is going on? This is silly." What I don't believe it. What's going on? So that's the first thing that we're going to be talking today. This is coming from Well, actually, before I get that, how are you feeling about this so far? I have no idea how you feel on this. So if you want to give your 2 cents real quick, feel free, sir. Feel free.
I'll say this. I've been following the case. I know of some social media people that I do follow who are in the courtroom also.
Okay.
And they were there for some of the text messages played. That's part of what also broke later on this week about certain things with him and the incident in 2022 with her.
Yeah,
And of him saying that he wanted her to act like Coretta Scott King and Michelle Obama, which is hilarious at its face because it being a white woman and you saying that. But if we think about it and take race out of it, don't we all kind of want women to act that way? I mean, in a sense that, you know, those women have amazing characteristics that you would want other people to have. What I've always said about this trial, and this is the unfortunate element of it, him being guilty or innocent does not matter. What I paid way more attention to was at the beginning of this trial, there are other witness statements that the media petitioned the judge to release. His team said, if those statements get out there, we can't get a fair trial. The judge heard those statements and said, you're 1,000% right. If those statements get out, he can't get a fair trial. So unless they become admissible during the trial, which would mean he would have to take the stand and say something like, I've never done anything of this nature before, then those things will become admissible. As long as he does not take the stand, none of that stuff will come out until the trial is over and all of that stuff becomes public record. That's when, to me, you'll get the picture of Jonathan Majors. You're not going to get it through this trial. I hate to tell everybody that. This is a he said, she said. Granted, the text messages that came out later this week, when it kind of alluded to him actually doing some of the things that she said, but just not at that point in the past.
Right.
Okay. But it's going to be those other statements that's going to have to come out after the trial is over. That's why I tell everybody, you know what, this is a wait and see type of thing. Pay no attention to any stuff back and forth in the media. It's been doing it for a year and a half. Pay absolutely no attention. He has a great defense team. They planted stories out there like they were supposed to sway people's opinion of him. No different than anyone else. I don't blame him for that. I don't blame his lawyers for that. That's why you have lawyers. That's their jobs to do that. So now when everything is coming out and it's going to be sensationalized, because that's the way our system works. We just went through this with Meg and Tory. No difference. All this stuff is going to be sensationalized as it comes out. So to me, you just wait till the trial is over. Guilty or innocent, not going to be important to me. It's going to be way more important when everything in the transcripts are released and those other statements become public knowledge. I think that can change people's perception of Jonathan. But as I said, getting the funny part of it, the moment I read that he told this blonde-haired, blue-eyed white woman to act like Michelle Obama and Coretta Scott King, it was the funniest thing in the world. Then you had to put it like, well, you know, if I'm cheating on my woman, of course I'm going to want her to act like Coretta Scott King. Turn the blind eye to the things that I do. Like, of course I'm going to need you to act like Michelle Obama if, you know, I want a powerful woman who understands how to support a powerful man. Those are great characteristics. You just couldn't do this in reverse. Like, you couldn't tell a black woman, you know, I want you to act like Margaret Thatcher or any great white woman. You couldn't tell a black woman that because you've lost your ever loving mind. Right. But here, you know, that's his vanilla queen, and he wants her to act like a black queen. Cool. It's just crazy to hear someone who dresses like that from the civil rights era to actually say this to a woman, a white woman, that I need you to act like these black women. I think that was the comedic part of it all.
Yeah, man. But well said, sir. Well said. But yeah, let's get into this, man. This is from a Business Insider. Marvel's Jonathan Majors told the ex he's accused of abusing that she needed to act like Michelle Obama and sacrifice for him, the prosecutor says. And first 2 paragraphs of this, they're just really throwing this man in the mud. Marvel Jonathan Majors, actor, was so controlling towards his ex-girlfriend. He told her she needed to make sacrifices for him like Coretta Scott King and Michelle Obama did for their husbands. Prosecutors told the jury at an opening of his domestic violence case. And yeah, that just seems super duper bonkers. Perez, as part of the prosecution, along with those plans for the future, Perez said were flashes of insecurity and anger from Majors. He began to snap at Grace Jabari and became manipulative. The prosecutor said he even threatened suicide to control her. Now, if that's the case, that's very unfortunate. He may have mental health issues. She may have it as well, because in all of this trial, it looks like they both threatened suicide with each other. And so super duper toxic relationship. That's not a laughing matter at all. You really got people out here that's suffering in silence, man. You got to be nice to people, man. You never know what people are going through. I'm not trying to play Captain Save them, but that's just not good. And hopefully, Jabari and Majors can get help, professional help, if that is the case. But yeah, he threatened to oh, I clicked the wrong button. Sorry. He even threatened suicide to control her. In June of 2022, he went on a music festival in the UK with a friend where his cell phone service was spotty, Perez told the jury. He became angry at her and ordered her to return, the prosecutor said. He told her that she needed to be there when he needed her. The prosecutor said that he would shout and throw household items, breaking them during arguments. He got upset when she went to the pub for a drink with a friend and confronted her, Perez said, pulling her earphones out of her ears and saying, "You're stupid if you don't know what you did wrong." He then threatened to end the relationship, throwing her possessions into a bag, according to the prosecutor. He told Grace Jabari that she needs to live up to the standards of Scoretta Scott King and Michelle Obama to make sacrifices for him, because he told her, "I am a great man," Perez said. He told her that she needs to comport herself in the way he needed her to be. And I got to say, Lucas, you made a damn good point there in your opening argument. But context matters. And the reason why I say that, I was talking about Danny Does Law. And she has so many details on her Twitter and Facebook page. But I have an image here. Let me pull it up here. The highlighted part: context of audio exhibit where Majors is heard referring to Michelle Obama and Scoretta Scott King. He used them as examples of how a great woman supports her great man, not as a requirement that she be them, because that did sound nuts. He was lamenting about her behavior and respects drinking and hanging out, reflecting poorly on his overall image as his girlfriend. No cursing was heard, no threats, no rage. So, I mean, you kind of already said it yourself. Hold on 1 second. That was my power box. But you kind of already said it yourself, man. But when context is provided here, what does that mean to you, man? And this also tells me that we just can't jump to conclusions. Context matters. But how you feeling about that?
I mean, at this point, if you followed enough court cases, you got to understand, currently this is the prosecution talking. They're going to paint him as the worst person in the world. Yeah. That's their job.
Right.
The defense is going to get up, paint her as the worst person in the world. That's their job. As an audience, unfortunately, you're stuck in the sense where your emotions swing by what side you believe the most. Get all of that. Let everything play out. This is not something where you're going to be able to formulate an opinion either way. Again, we've seen this with other trials happen, and we saw people's emotions swing from one side to the next, and it always happens that way. For me personally, I partially studied law. I was a political science major. This is something that I'm accustomed to hearing. So from the onset of this trial, I thought, okay, like it's I think his opening statement from the defense team was that she threatened suicide. And then the prosecution came back and said he threatened suicide. If we learned anything from Johnny Depp and Amber Heard in their trial, these are the swings you should expect back and forth. No difference here. Yeah. I think we just have to wait, be patient, let justice run its course. And then afterwards, once you get the transcripts, once you can read for yourself over everything, because that's when you get the context. I can't get the context from anyone else speaking. because unfortunately, I don't care how unbiased you may think you are, your own opinion of anything will seep through it. It always happens. We're people. That's natural. You can't give an unbiased take because unless you just don't care about no one involved in it, your take cannot be unbiased. If you care a little bit about one person, you're no longer unbiased. So to me, wait till it's all over, read the transcripts, and then find out what happened. I never thought when he said, I read in the Hollywood Reporter when it came out that I want you to be more like these two great women. I never thought it was a requirement. I literally thought he was giving her examples of these are great women. I need you to act this way.
Yeah.
Not like you better be them. No,
Right.
like that's ridiculous.
Right.
I never assumed that. So to me, people who did assume that, you already want him to be guilty anyway. That's why you assume it. You're looking for something to latch on to prove that this woman is right. For anyone who believed any story before the trial, from everything that was put out about her, it's because you needed her to be guilty. Fine, but just wait. Let everything run its course. Let the trial come out, then formulate your opinion after the fact. To me, these are two people who I don't care about. Not right now. I am more interested in letting the law run its course, letting this trial run its course. And afterwards, I can read over everything. I can find out the truth of the matter. You're still not going to be able to piece a lot of this stuff together because in the end, it is he said, she said. Like that's all you have. And then again, when these other statements come out from these other people, it will be the same thing. But people like piling on, and then you'll believe it because I got 6 or 7 people who says this about him. That don't mean there could be 6 or 7 people who absolutely hate him, who formulate these stories about him.
Right.
Same thing with her.
That's why
So I don't believe it anyway. I just prefer to read things, and from that, I can base my opinion off of it. But trying to pay attention to this trial as it goes on, I think it's just too much. It's going to swing you too many different ways. So don't stress yourself out right now, man. I don't think it's worth it right now.
That's fair. I can do nothing but respect it. I'm gonna still keep going though. I am. And you said something. There are some people that like want him to be guilty or her. As far as people wanting him to be guilty, of course, I expect that from the white supremacists. But when we started this story, it's just disappointing. Is this like I don't understand why people that look like us feel that way, especially when you claim to be conscious and aware of the system that we live in. I that's just really disappointing to me. It's just really
upsetting. You want to bluntly honest why? It's a reason.
I didn't want to go there. I think I know because I don't want to.
It's the reason why, and it's sad. It's all for us. It's sad. That should never be a reason to wish. To me, I wouldn't care if he didn't look like me. I'm going to give anybody the benefit of the doubt in this matter. That's the difference, I think, between me. I want to give anybody the benefit of the doubt of this matter. I would, if he was white and she was black, I still would want it to play out in court for us to look over everything and then come up with, okay, so this is a bit clear picture of what happened. I'm not looking at anything else here. He's a great actor. I like him as an actor, but I'm not going to bias my opinion based off of that. I don't know this woman from a hole in the wall, but that means absolutely nothing to me.
I wish everybody was as mature as yourself and your thought process.
Unfortunately,
but let me play this video real quick from Danny Does Law. I had it prepared. The volume may be pretty low, but y'all hit a 1 in the chat if you can hear this. And it may be biased, but I still want to play it. So
stop the car. That's when they show us the video.
Let me start that over.
All we saw was the unadulterated version of the surveillance video, but they were allowed to keep the maps. She grabbed the phone with 2 hands. This is important. Okay. Turned her back to him, facing her door, and was basically strong arming the phone, kung fu grip style. And he was trying to pry it from her hands. Those were her words. He was trying to pry the phone from my hand. He was not successful. Hit his arms and shoulders. These were her words, so I have them in quotes. She grabbed the phone with both hands and turned to the right. That's what I told you. She grabbed the phone. She said he kept trying to get the phone. So when he said stop the car, that's when they show us the video of the Escalade in the middle of the street. You see him get out. Remember that 18-inch gap between the two seats. So she clearly went from her seat across the gap into his seat, and was, as soon as he opened that car door, you see her in the doorway of the car. Her exact words. Let me give you her exact words.
Thank you for the exact words.
Happened. He was trying to get me off of him, trying to get me not to follow him. But in the same breath, tries to say that he was pushing her. Well, she didn't say that. That's what the prosecution is trying to say. That he was pushing her in the car, threw her like a football. She never once said that. She said he was trying to get me off.
Because you can lie in the opening statements. You can say whatever you want to say.
Say whatever you want, but she completely, I don't know if she was there for the opening statements because they weren't on the same page with that. He was trying to get me off of him, trying to get me not to follow him. So after she said that, well, she might have said it after the video, but regardless, the video told everything. And it confirmed those exact words. Because when he opened the door and got out, she was right there at the door. You see him turn around. It looked like he lifted her up. Not like, you know how she's tiny. So it looked like he just kind of like took her by her forearms just to kind of sit her back in her seat. He didn't push her head down. He didn't shove her.
Throw her like a football?
No, he didn't throw her like a football. It was like he was trying to restrain her. So he like kind of took her shoulders with his two hands and sat her back down in the seat. That was the first time he tried to get her to stay in the car. Then she jumped back up again.
Okay.
Then you see him kind of trying to push her back down into the seat. Not shoving her, not pushing her head down. He's kind of like, just kind of like back off, like that kind of thing. She pops back up again. He does it again. She pops back up again, and then he just hauls ass. He runs because he can't keep her in the car at this point. And I must note too, they did show 3 different perspectives of that same him trying to get her in the car. So it was from a distance, then a little closer, and then even closer up. So we knew for a fact he was not pushing her down, throwing her, none of that, because they kept zooming in at different angles so we could see exactly how he was trying to keep her in the car. When, like I said, when he wasn't successful, he jetted off, full speed, full stride. She ran behind him. Next frame shows him running at a different angle down the street. Then the next frame, you see them running through a parking lot. The next frame, you see them running. It's like different scenes of where they ran. And then in between that, the prosecution created like these maps that kind of had little dots following their path on the map. So they would turn in corners. It was crazy. I'm like, this is not helping your case. You're making her look insane. She ran after him for about 5 blocks.
So there you go. That's Danny. She was in the room. She saw the surveillance video and all of that. She's describing what she saw. Sorry it was so low. Before the show started, I tried to make the volume louder, but I couldn't. I wish we can see that, but I remember earlier in the weeks and months of this year, it was just so much speculation that he's, being forceful with her in the car and doing this and doing that. But she described it as you just heard. And so that's just a different perspective. And another reason why, again, we cannot come to any conclusions. Okay. Yep. And so there you go. Right there. Like I showed y'all earlier, she's going to apparently be talking about this later on tonight in her live. And I'm going to tune in and see what's going on. But before we head out of here, that's what happened in March of this year. And as Lucas stated earlier, some text messages came out from September of 2022 that's making him, it does look bad, but let's go ahead and get into that as well. Business Insider, explosive text reveals Jonathan Majors urged his girlfriend not to get help for injuries because it would risk an investigation. Now, of course, when we get into that just sounds horrible. But let's look at this right here. Actor Jonathan Majors urged his then girlfriend not to get medical help for an injury because it could lead to an investigation. Explosive text read aloud at the criminal domestic violence trial reveal. Majors, now 34, encouraged Jabari not to go to the doctor for an injury after some unspecified incident, according to text. try to make this bigger. It's fake, Majors text Jabari, and you have, I fear, no perspective of what could happen if you go to the hospital. They will ask you questions, and as I don't think you can actually protect us, it could lead to an investigation. Even if you do lie, they suspect something. Jabari, who had been the witness stand for 4 days, texts back that she would cover for Majors. I will tell the doctor that I bumped my head, according to a text message read to the jury. If I go, I'm going to give it one more day, but I can't sleep and I need stronger painkillers. Why would I tell them what really happened when it's clear I want to be with you? I'm trying to make it bigger and I lost my thought. When I want to be with you. So it's unclear when the injury happened. Jabari previously testified on September of this year. Majors confronted her because she had gone for drinks with a friend and then returned home for dinner. Let me see if there's any more quotes.
I think that should be it for the text message thread.
Yeah.
That was from who did I get? I first saw it in again Hollywood Report, I think, or Variety.
Let me say something real quick. This is something else that she said. The people also tried insinuating early DV in September 2022. That's the date from the text message we just read by heavily redacted text. So context of the messages is totally skewed. Now, context matters, but that does sound bad. I can't admit it. And again, if he's guilty, he's guilty. You know, I will own up to it. I have some more commentary, but Lucas, go ahead, man.
It's the same thing. In the end, wait till the transcripts are released. I don't think people understand that part of it. You're not going to get any perspective until the full transcript is released and all the evidence is released also. I pay attention to a case up until the point of when I think the transcript is the only way you're going to get the truth out of any one story. Because you got a multitude of people reporting on this. And again, everyone's going to put their slant on it. I don't care about people's slant because I'm not invested enough to. Again, I just prefer to read the transcript and let me know exactly what took place. I think that people want to frame him as the worst person in the world, and they'll use that text message thread to do so. Dude, he could have been talking about a dog hitting her. How the hell would you know? Right. You would have the slightest idea what he's talking about. But again, that's the prosecution's job, is to frame a story that way. Granted, it looks horrible. Guess what? Yeah. That's what they're supposed to do.
Right.
That is the goal of it. But this is partially why the defense fought for this trial not to be public. Because the prosecution wanted it public. They wanted it. So they wanted reporters in this courtroom every day. So you can get bit by bit of this evidence as it dropped. His team fought for that not to happen. Because they said, nope, if this stuff gets out, it ain't going to be good. Because I think they understand the way slants work. If you in any form of law, you understand the way slants work. And I can't get a fair trial if I'm constantly worrying about everybody reporting this day in and day out. It's gonna hurt me. And that's unnecessary. Give it time. So this is why I don't personally, I follow it to an extent of people telling me, hey, this is what happened in court today. That's all I care about. Okay, once you get to the statements, once you get to these text messages are read, or this diagram was shown, and things of this nature, the first thing I think of is, I'll pay way more attention to this when I can see it myself. Like that's my biggest thing. I'll pay way more attention when I can see it myself. But unfortunately, this is a closed trial. Here's the weird part, though, people. In the end, it's not even that big of a case. I'm highly confused on why it went to trial. This is a misdemeanor at best. I think if he's found guilty of everything, it's a year. But let's be realistic. No one gets a year for that. I think it's only in a trial because of who he is. That's it.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
But normally for people of his stature, that's why they settle. Like, you just settle and get this over with. Like, nah, I'm not going back and forth. But in here, what I mean by settle is you settle with the prosecution. It all depends. Because at that point, you're settling with the prosecution. You're saying it's not worth my time to have to go through this trial. Like, in all honesty, for Jonathan, it's hurting him so much more to have to sit through this stupidity than anything else. This is what's hurting him.
I would rather him do that to settle. That's just me, though.
But no, you could get a settlement in a sense of is a settlement without admitting guilt.
Okay.
That's it. That's all we ask for, a settlement without admitting guilt. Because for him, again, the fear isn't her. The fear isn't what she has to say. The fear is all the rest of the stories that come out after this. All those other statements that come out after this. I think that's his biggest issue. So again, when his defense team said, we're fighting to keep this other stuff sealed unless it's admissible during this trial, what they're saying is those other statements is something we do not want to be out to the public at all. The point that the media went and literally attempted to file a lawsuit to get this stuff released because they're so hungry for that information. But in turn, if I'm him, I'm like, you know what? In the end, if we could settle where I don't have to admit fault of anything and we can move on and I'll pay whatever little fine that you're probably going to give me in the end anyway, I'll pay that. Not going to admit that I'm guilty to anything, but I just want this to be over with. But when you drag it out, you drag it out this way, this is when it does irreparable harm to you, even if you're innocent. Because all the rest of the stories come out then. And then you're like, damn it, I can't defend myself against everything. Because once it's 2 or 3 people, no matter what you say, those 2 or 3 people are telling the truth. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, because that's the way the public works.
Right.
It's stupid, but that's the way the public works. Enough people come out against you, they're telling the truth. And it could be all liars, but they're telling the truth. And unfortunately, when the truth does come out, and if you're 100% innocent, it's a little byline that says that you're 100% innocent. Nowhere near the huge byline that said you were guilty. Look at someone like, and I know this is a horrible comparison, but look at someone like Kevin Spacey. He's literally won every trial after all those allegations against him. No one cares. No one. He's been proven innocent almost every case he's had. No one cares because that tagline at the beginning was so big, it took all the attention away from him. And I pray that doesn't happen because this man is, I don't care what you don't have to like Jonathan Majors. Who cares? He's a black man. He's extremely talented. The only bias I have is I'm rooting for everybody black. That's my bias. And I'll tell anybody that every day, all day. And I believe he's a great actor. Not a good one. Not kind of good. Great. I thought he was a lock for Best Actor for Magazine Dreams when I saw it at Sundance this year. And I was hyped when they gave it a release date later on this season and later on this year, and then all of this hit. And I said, they are going to try to strip this man bare bones. And that's what I'm seeing here. And I'm terrified of what was going to happen after the trial. Because I think this case is, you can't find fault, unfortunately. From what I know about the law, just hearing slightest bit of evidence before this trial started, say, oh, you're not going to be able to prove anything here. So what's the purpose of it? It's going to be to get the rest of those stories out.
Yeah, man. I wish I need to take your advice page out of your book. You're like, don't get stressed out, B. Because it's just like I'm annoyed just with people in my personal life that's tagging me because it's so one-sided, and they'll try to present an argument, and then I'll shut it down with more information. But then they're quiet, and then I won't, and so wait a minute, where was you at? You was talking all this noise, but then I come with this, and no. So I'm not gonna go off, but I'm gonna just say, like, I'm bound out. I don't want to have this conversation anymore. Yeah. If you want to be all in my ear, but when I present something else, you're Casper, you're a ghost. Something you said earlier about clearly she was hurt in September of 2022, and we don't know what happened. But you said something like, it could have been a dog, it could have been anything. We don't know. What I'm trying to make is that we can't come to the conclusions. Have you seen Spike Lee's movie He Got Game?
Of course.
Okay. What did Denzel Washington get locked up for? He was trying to reprimand his child. Yeah. And the wife was like, get off my baby, get off my baby. And he accidentally shoved her, and then she hit her head on the stove and passed away, unfortunately. Now, I'm not saying that in that movie that he shouldn't have gone to jail for manslaughter, but it was an accident. If somebody was not in the room and saw exactly what happened, it appears that he abused her, or that he was an abuser or something. You may not like that example, but I'm a die on that hill. But that's a good example of, again, when 2 people are in the room with each other, you don't know what happened. she
Get a
was,
slice of it.
in that case, she died. But if she was injured, you don't know what happened. I'm gonna tell you a quick story about me and 13 years ago, 2010. Let me just preface this by saying I have never been in any type of domestic violence incident. I've never put my hands on a woman. Woman has never put their hand. Well, actually, when I was 18, I made a joke that a woman didn't like it. She tried to kick me outside of a library at college. But other than that, there's never been any physical altercations. But in 2010, woman I was dating, I was at her apartment, and I had enough sense to do what I did, what I'm going to tell you. But our relationship was pretty much coming to an end. We were arguing more than we were getting along. For weeks, I was just saying, hey, let's just be cool. And she was like, no. She actually said, please don't give up on me. One day we was getting into it, going back and forth. I was like, well, hey, I'm out. I'm going to leave. And so my keys were on the countertop in the kitchen. I try to go grab my keys. She runs over there and grabs my keys so I can't leave, goes to the couch, raises up the couch cushion, and puts my keys under the couch cushion and sits on the couch. You ain't going nowhere. Now, of course, I am strong enough to go over there and remove her off the couch cushion to get my keys and leave. But if I had enough sense to say, I was like, okay, I could do this, but what if something happens and while we're tussling, trying to get my keys, she hits her knee, she hits her elbow, her shoulder, her head, she starts bleeding. How is that going to look to the outside? It's going to look like I beat her ass. And of course, that did not happen. We kind of just lollygagged and sat there for about another hour and a half until she got up and went to the restroom. And then that's when I got my keys and left.
Keys and got out of there.
But I was just saying to myself, how could this look on the outside? If I'm just trying to get my keys and leave the situation, it's going to look like I put my hands on her. My point is that we don't know what happened as far as Jabari getting those injuries in September of 2022. Anything could have happened. He could have been yelling. He could have hit her. He could have not. She could have been screaming and throwing stuff and like, woman, leave me alone, and pushed her on accident and she hurt herself. It could have been a number of things. My point is we cannot come to any conclusions, and stop tagging me and stuff when you don't know what you're talking about. I just had to get it off that chest.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that, man. I understand.
Yeah. So it's I don't like the one-sidedness. I don't like people coming to certain conclusions. I don't like people wanting this man to be guilty. Just wait. Like you said, and presented your argument.
Just wait.
So just wait and we'll see. So that's all I got to say. You got any more? You got any final comments on this?
Nothing. Mine's just simple. I preach that to my friends the same way. I have people who like, man, they following the trial. They know people who are either in the courtroom or they know how to get the information. And I'd be like, well, is it that important for you to follow without you being able to see the information yourself? I'm like, no. I don't care. Let's just wait till everything runs its course with these two. And after the trial is over, you'll get the transcript of everything. And it reminds me of the Tory and Meg trial, where everyone talked back and forth about it for months. And then magically, when the transcript is released and they notice that the reporting on it was so biased, it's, oh my God, none of this was in the transcript. Like, yes, that's the official document. Read that, and then you can formulate your opinion on it. Again, I just don't care.
Right. You can give.
I wish the best. I wish the best for all parties involved. I wish at this point both of them could move on from each other, because at one form this was a toxic relationship on both ends. I just want both of them to move on in peace from each other.
I agree.
That's it.
Before we head out of here, man, you can give a quick 5 minutes response to this. But Dane C, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. This settling help P. Diddy, Lucas. I'm gonna say no.
I know a lot more about that than I need to, and that I wish I did. And the reason settling did not work for him is because, one, people already formulated their opinion about him. Settlement didn't matter, because you can say the settlement didn't work for him. Someone else could say she released a statement saying that she was standing up for all women and settled with 24 hours, and you have not heard a peep from her since. None of that is a coincidence on either end for them two. Some of this stuff was true. I know for a fact some of what she said was true. I also know some of what she said in that filing was not true. But who cares? They had already formulated their opinion about him. And if you notice, and this is the fear with Jonathan, After he settled that, everyone else came out. That's the issue, is what happens after your initial filing, your initial case. And that's the fear part with Jonathan, is that you're going to get all these other people trying to come out and badmouth this man after this. Even if it's true, they're still badmouthing him because they see the windows opened up. It's different a little bit with Diddy because that was a civil trial. This is a criminal trial. Those are two completely different type of filings. You can file anything civil if you think you can formulate a case and hope that that person settles with you. I mean, in all honesty, to me, that's what Cassie did. Like, Diddy had no business allowing it to go that far. He should have settled, or as his lawyer said, when she came out and she wanted to do a book deal, and it was a supposed shakedown for a book deal, he should have settled then. It wasn't worth like saying no. And the amount of money she asked for was nothing for him. Absolutely nothing for him. But that's the point of going to trial. That's the point of going to a civil court. You ask for enough money that is life-changing for you, but does not hurt the person that you're asking for it for. So yeah, that theirs is a completely different issue. Diddy is insane. Like, we know this already. And again, a lot of that was facts of what she said. The other stuff that I know were not facts about what she said, but it didn't matter either way because who cared? It's Diddy. No one likes him anyway. Jonathan doesn't have that issue. People love John. You should love Jonathan Majors. He does nothing wrong.
Yeah.
Like, I think somebody got mad because I joked on his clothes, but you know, he was known as Civil Rights Bay. Like, he's like the perfect black man from a lost era, Joe. Like, he before this, we've not heard anything about Jonathan. He stayed out his way with his little red cap on, and he was just the definition of a cool black guy. Cool black man. That's it.
But yeah, guys, that's it, man. That's all we have today. And so I appreciate y'all tuning in. If you are interested in reading these entire articles, of course, there's a link to this in the description box below. And for you to read at your own leisure. And shortly after we end the broadcast, I will be adding timestamps to everything that we discussed today. But when it comes to Jonathan Majors, guys, let's just wait, man. We don't know. Let's not jump to any conclusions. Okay. But guys, that is all that we have for today for Movie News Roundup show number 111. I want to thank all of you so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. I'm pretty sure Lucas appreciates it too. And so I will be here I'll be here same time next week at 6:30 p.m. Next week, and with a number of spicy topics to talk about as well. Lucas, I want to thank you so much, my brother, for coming through and kicking it with me this Sunday night. It was a pleasure, man. You're very smart, very informative. Made some great points tonight. Just want to let you know in front of everybody, you're welcome back anytime that you like. So thank you so much. It was a pleasure, sir. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh, definitely, man. This was fun.
Already. Is there anything that you got going on your lovely channel you want to, let the good people know? I know y'all be covering power as well, pretty tough on your channel too. But anything?
Yeah, I'm about to say that's the big thing right now is between us covering power, the interviews and stuff we got lined up, and that's it right now. Like between here and Sundance coming up, that's the next thing we're preparing for is the Sundance Film Festival. So this is supposed to be our down period of the year, but
yeah.
Power came back and decided, you know what, we're not going to give you all a break until like February.
Right. Well, appreciate it, man. And guys, there's a link to all of his information in the description box below. And today is Movie News Roundup show number 111. But last night I did the Super Duper show number 29, where we just talked about nothing but superhero comic book stuff. So if you're into that type of thing, go watch that on the replay as well. But guys, again, we just want to thank you so much for tuning in. And before you go, don't forget that I'm B. Avery. That's Lucas, and that's just our opinion. Peace out, and we'll see you next time.